Hello everyone and welcome to the third week of the EGFC Season 1. This of course is the third week of our 9-week pre duking it out to earn their seedings, moving on to the playoffs. We will of course be playing a best of 5 overall, and we are looking forward to it. We got 4 matches coming out today, Tug, and how are you doing today?
Doing very well, neither. Doing very, very well. Cannot complain about much over here in the sunny state of South Carolina. Today, we are starting off Marist College taking on RIT. That's the Rochester Institute of Technology. Followed up, game number 2 of 4, Niagara Esports taking on Quinnipiac. Then moving on along to Manhattan College taking on UTA. And last, certainly not least, Canisius College taking on the prestigious University of Delaware.
I'm looking forward to these games. Marist versus RIT is going to be an interesting one. RIT have a substitute coming in today.
Yeah, we're talking about a little bit beforehand, right? A little bit, maybe a different team.
Yeah, so those two teams coming off a little bit differently. It should be interesting overall. Of course, I'm interested to see how RIT comes out with a substitute. They're a fantastic team overall. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be jumping right into the game. Kick us off, Tug.
To kick us off, indeed, looks like Sunblaze, Bindo, and Squatchy. Squatchy being the RIT player who is coming in as a sub. Marist College kicking it off early in with some fire, though. 6 seconds.
Yeah, Marist been able to already put in a goal at the moment with Tones there, the team captain, making sure that people know that they're coming to play, and good job at it as well.
Yes, sir. Sunblaze, Bindo. We've only seen 6 seconds of play. Is not a whole lot, but now a very, very dominant 3 second, I believe. Well, we saw a 2 second goal, last time we casted together last week, and that has been the fastest. That been being 3 and 2 points, 9 seconds. Not looking good already for old RIT.
Yeah, that is a incredible start from Marist College already. If we were to say favors, like the favorites of this game, RIT would have been where I would have put my money, but Marist College proving any expectations are thrown out of the window as they are playing fantastically. Is this going to be goal number 3?
I was very close to it, and might just be result of playing with that different third. Of course, Squatchy again coming in as the sub for RIT over here on the right in the orange or red, depending on your personal preference on color. Attempted flip reset here for Z-Ball as we're getting up close and personal. There it is, Cypher bouncing this one to the side, and now 45 seconds, 3 scores, and this is Marist College is on a run.
Yeah, and looking to get the touch there is going to go into the goal. I mean, overall,
I think that Squatchy was kind of supposed to be playing like the back part, but again went for boost. We've seen many players do that, and it is very infrequent. It feels like that it's going to come out on top for them. And again, RIT taken off guard. Like, what's going on, man? That was another 6 second goal? Less than that, actually.
No, this is incredible coming out from Marist. I don't know what is up with RIT at the moment, but they are just putting in shot after shot. RIT's defense is just non-existent.
I'm not sure if RIT has actually gotten any significant offensive pushes yet. As I say that, Squatchy and Moore looking to set this one up. And was that Squatchy who just blocked his own goal?
I think he was trying to immediately. So I think what was happening there is he was trying to get the angle so it bounced straight down in front of their goal, and then that was going to get followed up by Bindo. But he didn't quite get the angle he wanted, and it did just bounce away into the corner. Z-Ball stealing it away mid-air there.
Yeah, great advantageous take on this rebound is a little bit close and personal. Bindo taking out Cypher here, making this a little bit 2v3, and just barely didn't miss the first one, but Squatchy is there. That's the replacement, the substitute in. Squatchy getting it done. Teammates Sunblaze and Bindo. Now, of course, Sunblaze was all over that one. Really did set that up, and Defender was there. I believe that was Tones to get the first little touch off. So it did knock it over to the left side of the goal initially, but Squatchy all over that. Sometimes double tap is one that matters.
Yeah, managing to put it in. That's going to be the first goal coming in for RIT. Good save coming out there from Marist, but followed up by Squatchy once again. Managed to get a second one.
Talk about taking advantage of a rebound. Let's watch this here. Sunblaze putting it up there. Z-Ball doing a good job of hitting it away, but not so much afar, like not really out. Like if he had gotten the same distance hit on the ball, but more so off to the side, that wouldn't have been a goal, is what I'm saying.
No, I agree with you on that one. Oh my god, the pinch here though. Squanchy's going to be able to challenge Cypher, manages to get the success. Tones challenging it, gets it up into the air. Sunblaze goes up for it, goes over to Cypher. The recenter comes out. Bindo in the defense tug.
It's a great recenter here by Cypher. Really, really was. Masterful angles, and it's only going to provide him more and more of an advantageous edge against his teammates if he's able to, really just edge that one out. It's fantastic angles.
Again, the demolition coming out. Lots of demos coming out. Sunblaze managed to find 2 there, just leaving Cypher to fend whilst his teammate to respawn. Zeeble in the respawn, going to be able to get the touch. 3 centers.
So of course this
back.
Game started completely 100% Marist College, but RIT has done a great job of coming back so far. Not only down by 2, and we're at halftime, so I guess if there's any solace in getting, scored 4 times against, it's the fact that it happened in, 45 seconds?
Yeah, a lot of that time was practically at the start of the game.
What a steal!
Slowly but surely being able to find their goals back here, right? Really lovely touch from Sunblaze.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything bad about Bindo now, but seriously, Squatchy and Sunblaze have been putting up some very, very impressive plays. Just the simple fact of being able to take advantage of a shot like that, it's just absolutely fantastic, and Sunblaze is going to be able to recreate those, and when he does, it's going to be just as flashy.
Yeah, now, once again, tapping it down, ends up shooting up into that corner. This is a good opportunity, once again, for Marist, if they can find a touch, but there is going to be some demos. He will find in 2. It's going to go over. Tones is looking for the touch. He whiffs. Squanchy gets it into Bindo's hands. Bindo now plays it slowly, gets the touch. Contest. Oh my goodness, what a good read there. Gets the bump by rotating his car around the ball. Squanchy looking to set it off of the wall. Goes into Sunblaze. Sunblaze looking to get it past the Squanchy. Squanchy whiffs the touch, but the challenge from Zeeble doesn't work out, and Cypher manages to clear it.
Right, great job there. Both teams, with the defensive block as well as RIT being all over this one, second up for the next shot. You always got to look for the second, Navik.
Yeah, I mean, being able to find those consecutive shots is super duper important in Rocket League, especially when you're trying to force the defensive players to make mistakes. Now, Zeeble, again, I like what we're seeing a lot coming out from Marist, right? They're not going, oh my goodness, and are they going to be able to find a follow-up? There's that second shot we were just talking about.
Yes, sir. Squatch all over this one, but I do believe that was... Okay, no, excuse me. For a second, I thought that was that Sunblaze was a blue character and had hit that angle by mistake. But like you just said, like we have said so far, the second tap is more frequently the effectual, interaction with the ball that's going to result in a score. And I was Sunblaze with another demolition. I believe we have hit double digits on those, and there's not even 4 minutes in the game.
Yeah, no, there is a lot of goals coming up. We've tied up now. There's a minute left.
I was talking about the demolitions. Like I believe that's 10 total now.
It might have been. I've not been counting them, but I just meant in general. We've seen 8 goals coming out in 4 minutes. That's a goal every 30 seconds. There's still a minute left onto the clock. This is either team's game.
Yeah, no matter which way you cut it, higher level Rocket League, that's just simple, a high score total. So yeah. Straight up, hitting double digits at this point is almost guaranteed. It hasn't gone yet!
Oh my god!
Oh, what a block! Sunblaze all over that one, threading the needle and getting this one out. He is not going to be the team that's going down on this one. 35 seconds to go.
That could have been it for Marist. If they had managed to put that one in, they would have been able to solidify their victory practically coming into this first game. But at the moment, the fantastic save from Sunblaze, they just couldn't commit.
Yeah, I love Sunblaze's his own commitment, right, to getting all over that. And there it is, another one. So let's theory craft here for a second, because that might have been the tying score. This one might have been the tying score, right? Because that was almost Marist College. This ball flirting with that edge just so closely. Just fantastic Rocket League, man.
You really, really do love to see it, right? Now Zeeble getting a touch off of the ceiling. It is going to get saved by Squanchy. Cypher's on top of it, looking to get it past to Zeeble. Zeeble deciding to kind of play it slow, looking for the bump. 10 seconds left onto the clock. RIT are currently in the lead with 1 goal. We're a 9-goal game coming into game 1, and it was a ferocious start coming out from
Tone's got to get under it.
Ferocious start coming out from Marist College, but you could say the Tigers strike back.
You could definitely say that in every way, shape, and form. RIT a very, very impressive comeback. They allowed 4 scores, 45 seconds, then went on a 5-goal run on their own. Beautiful stuff. Hat trick coming out by Squatchy. 3 goals for this player, 2 for Sunblaze. But 5 shots apiece on those. And just speaking objectively, Bindo not really as much involved. Only had 86 total points on here. Not hitting that triple digit points-wise. Just not a good story.
No, but so far though, either way, right? Bindo maybe not being the strongest player, Squanchy really showing it up.
Yes, 100%. I would not be surprised if Squatchy was, considered more so in the future. Now, there's just one game, really did pop off. He would have to continue on with those kind of experiences to probably get that starting point. Obviously, I do not know RIT's, specific training, hiring, process,
So
who starts, who doesn't, but I'm just saying it's reasonable to believe. Sorry, go ahead.
No. What I was going to say is, from what I understood, we had a bit of a conversation from with Sunblaze just before the game because they had to find a substitute because they were waiting for the third player to announce himself, and time was coming to a bit of an edge. And from what he was saying, I believe Squanchy has played with Bindo and Sunblaze before, and
that would make a lot of sense.
I think they were a trio. And they ended up dropping Squanchy because of education. Like he just was focusing on that due to it being.
And just saying, there's no in there.
Yeah,
there's no
yeah.
in there.
So I think I could be completely wrong. This could be me spitting completely false facts. But that
Okay.
that was from what I interpreted from what I was told by Sunblaze. Z-Ball though looking for a touch, so it makes sense because we are seeing the synergy. Was the point that I was getting to. Tones though looking to try and get in that Bindo with a very good challenge, good interception.
Yeah. Bindo says no. One could say, oh, a long ball, but it hits the top bar. Wow, nobody was all over that one. That was a great shot in, just a little bit lower. We'd be looking at teams lining up and going for the 50-50 again. But, maybe Bindo heard me, right? It said he wasn't as much involved there, and that was a second nice defensive shot by him in this first, minute and 15.
Yeah, coming out though, it's a very, very, very different game, right?
Yep.
We saw 4 goals by just turning to the 4th minute in the first minute of the game.
I mean, well, we saw 2 goals within like 9 seconds. I would almost say that's more that's more of a storyline right there. But yeah, seriously, both of these teams fighting very, very evenly. We are now obviously seeing pressure against Marist College, but now with a bounce that just goes right past defender. This is a Marist College team that defended shots like this left and right, and Bindo getting it in there with the side swipe. Z-Ball barely missing that, and now RIT going up the first time they've been in the lead until they took the final lead in the last game.
Yes. Not the first time they've been in the lead by that, but there was a demolition coming out from Bindo there, from Cypher onto Bindo. They're looking to play aggressive. Sunblaze looking to set it up, passes it back to Bindo's, looking possibly for the rotate here for the massive clear. But this could be an attempt from Marist College, and they just can't get there in time.
Tons just coming through a little bit too fast. Gotten a little heavy on it, if I can make that joke. But again, this is just possession going back and forth. We just saw all the pressure in the world against Marist. You mentioned something about aggression. I think this is Marist College's time to get hyper aggressive because they have been playing a more rounded game beforehand. And they came out at the beginning of first game, obviously, all the aggression in the world was allowed. But I think if they really turned it on here, went less for defensive rotations when they have the ball, then that could really be something that might overload RIT.
Yeah, looking to overload RIT is probably the right solution in this case, right? Because at the start, we saw what happened when you overload RIT, when you put on that hyper aggression. RIT just crumbled. Like, we saw 4 goals from Marist when they just kept putting on the pressure.
I gotta say, I feel like, honestly, Marist College was not playing, like, super hyperly aggressive. They just, the beginning, dude, honestly, RIT was just asleep or something. They had to figure out something. They got to figure it out. Marist College, I mean, that's kind of what I was saying. It didn't seem like they were playing hyper, super aggressive. If they changed and started doing that, I think we might see a lot more points coming up on this board, though.
Right, no, I see where you're coming from. Yeah, I guess that could be correct as well. Like, RIT kind of playing a bit slower. The way, just get waking up. I think Sunblaze just got out of class, so that is the other thing, right? Definitely hasn't had a chance to warm up where I know the Marist College had been sitting there for a while, kind of playing Rocket League, warming up. So if that's the case, it could have literally just been the difference of warm-up.
Yeah, that math would make 100%. Yeah, true. I say it all the time. Rocket League is definitely a game, at least this play-by-play caster has to come in and practice at least a couple times before I'm trying to do anything seriously in it. Now coming in, we're about 4 minutes in this game, Navik, and we have seen one goal. Count it one.
Yeah, no, it's a very different style of game this time around, Tug. It's a lot more patience coming up from both sides. They're looking for opportunities, but they're not overcommitting to the point of where they're going to get answered upon and punished for it. So, interesting to see. Very nice pass play coming out from Marist College, as we're going to see on the replay here, Tug.
Now, is that the definition of the caster curse? Like we're sitting here talking about it's a slow game and how you make another point about that.
I don't know if I'd say that was a faster game, right? They had been playing for that for a while. They kept the ball possession in the side of RIT's field, and it just looked like they were kind of patiently waiting for an opportunity, and they managed to find it when we commented on it.
Yeah. So it was definitely. Oh my goodness! What a straight shot! Bindo nailing this one in. Call it the last one on the coffin, because this might be, I mean, 45 seconds. We didn't see anything the first 3.5 minutes or so. This could definitely be that last little bit, and just an advantage of one pushing all the way, just like we saw in the first game. And that was 9. We're only looking at 3 at this point.
Yeah, and that's the other thing here. RIT managed to retort there super duper quickly. It looks like they're going to once again look for a waterfall, but Zeeble is there. The challenge comes out. It's good from Bindo. He's going to look to set it up towards Squanchy. He gets one touch, gets contested by, I believe that was Zeeble. That might have been Tones, though. Interception is good from Bindo. Doesn't find the land. Sunblaze going to be able to kick it forward.
Marist College has got to get aggressive with this right now. They only need one score, and now with 12 seconds left, this is getting less and less possible. Cypher pumping out of goal. Pressure's there. Big hit from Bindo. That might be the last little bit that they need. Now they just need to keep this ball up in the air. Navik.
Coming down there. If they can find it, RIT is going to be trying to put in another goal. Squanchy sees the opportunity, and Squanchy isn't going to be able to find it. RIT taking game 2, ladies and gentlemen. This, of course, is a best of 5. So we do see a situation where Marist College have been put into a corner. They need to start punching back, right? They need to be able to claw their way through. We saw this slow and methodical play work out for them this game. But then they immediately lost it by a very fast and aggressive RIT play, which is, it's textbook for RIT, right? They are an aggressive team. They love putting on the pressure. And so I think it needs to come down to Marist playing that kind of reactive style where RIT go for a proactive play, Marist punish it, and then slow play the ball.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. I think that the stats here kind of might even support sort of what you're saying, right? We're talking about RIT's aggression. Got 8 shots between all of them. And now Marist College is all over with the saves, right? 4 saves for 8. It's not bad scoreline by any means. But now look at Marist College, right? Only 1 goal, 5 shots total. And Bindo and the rest only need 1 save. Only 1 defensive block came out from RIT that entire time. Obviously, what that says is even though the shot was there, it was, towards goal. It was not there. It was not something that a player would have to get in front of and get points for a block on, right?
Yeah.
Which again just kind of goes back to Marist College not playing super aggressive.
No, and I don't think that's a bad thing in any way, because if you do kind of play passively and manage to find it in that way, it's important, right? There's different play styles for every single team, and being able to find what works and how you play against certain teams is just playing the numbers to some extent.
Yeah, it's just, it was just like I was saying earlier, right? Like, they were behind, they have to get aggressive, they have to score right now to at least to tie it up, and that just never really came.
No,
like back against the wall, eventually is just like, you have to do this, no matter how you get it done.
Yes.
You have to do this, and you have to tie it up. Now, you can play in overtime till the cows come home, until your next birthday, but you at least have to get there first.
Yes. You need to be able to climb up, and even if it comes down to tying it and putting them in overtime, that's good pressure.
It is. And I mean, when is there really a better objective, like, training period, right? Than a match like this that matters. All of these scores individually are going towards our finals, right? Are going towards overall winless records.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. All the, this matters. This is the definition of mattering for regular season play. And what better what better practice, what better pressure is that than overtime?
Yeah, and with overtime overall, right? The teams, we had to remake the lobby. That's why it would take a little bit longer than. But I think this is a good chance for Marist to kind of breathe, you know, kind of reset, readjust, and come into this game.
Yeah, it's definitely an opportunity, and it's also their last opportunity, right? You said best of 5. Marist College has snaked by here with a 4-5 scoreline and a 1-2 scoreline, winning both by a total point differential of 2.
Yes.
The lowest amount that you could get between 2 games. Now, neither of them were in overtime. It did not reach that situation, but again, only winning by 1. And I say all the time, lead of 1 is no lead indeed in Rocket League, but they took it. They proved me wrong, right? They took the entire thing and just, nope, well, we're just going to win by 1, the lowest score denomination that they could win by. Well, now there's Marist with one last opportunity.
As you say, right, there's, like, 1 isn't a lead in Rocket League, but, like, it is when it comes down to the last 3 seconds.
You have to throw a bunch of, like,
well, you know.
No lead indeed in Rocket League.
However, when there's 3 seconds left on the clock, that saying kind of goes out the window.
Agreed. I mean, it's definitely something more easily said than done.
Absolutely. You know, and that is the case for a lot of things. I mean, you know, it's easy to say, oh, just get the flip reset into a waterfall.
Yeah. Just click on their head.
Yeah. Just score. Just score.
Yeah. Just win the game.
Yeah, easy.
Let's talk about some. No, I'm flipping on over here to the season 1 schedules. Of course, again, guys, we're in week 3. All of these results going towards the end in the playoffs. Who gets in, who does not. So let's talk a little bit about what some of these teams have done before. Marist College just last week did lose, but lost the 3-1. So the second closest scoreline that you could get. And even through there, they only lost by what, 1 point. There's 3 there. There's 2 points. You know, so really, and then 1 by 3. So actually, sorry, the game has started. The music wasn't, or the sound wasn't playing.
You were absolutely fine. I was letting you kind of get in that information as we're going to see RIT take that first goal. Sunblade seeing a golden opportunity. Look at that.
A blazing opportunity. Fiery, pie in the sky. There you go. One up now.
Like a golden sun joke, but.
No, I'm with it.
Yeah.
I poorly added on top of it. That's what I do.
17 seconds being the first goal is a much different start from what we've seen the last couple of games. But once again, Sunblaze looking for the touch. Is going to look for the double tap to recenter it back up over to Bindo Tug.
This is centered up. Everybody's shooting for it. And Tones Squatchy, kind of a chorus of effort there, did knock this ball off center. Now 30 seconds in. Talk about narratives and differences therein. This is more similar to the first game. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I was waiting for the replay.
Zeeble got the touch.
How? Yeah,
everybody
how?
whiffed it, and it just kind of went in. Whoa, Zeeble! Congratulations, luckiest man on the earth. That very second.
I don't know. Ball's in his name. That's the only thing I can think of. So game 1, we saw at this point literally 4 scores go. 2 is a lot more reasonable, especially 1-1 on either team. But the second game, again, talking about differences in narrative. Second game was. 3 minutes before anybody scored, I think.
Yeah, it was
something
like that. It was a good period of time before we saw a goal, and now we're going back into that more game 1 style, where we are seeing 3 goals, not quite 4 goals in the first minute, but maybe we see 1 on kickoff.
Yeah, so every single goal so far has been this really impressive aerial action by somebody, right? The first one was Sunblaze for RIT. The second one was Squatchy. Z-Ball on the other side, like you said, kind of a really random but still aerial ball. And coming in so far, was just going to show that everybody in this squad, or everybody on these 2 teams, are very, very comfortable up in the air. Sunblaze with a golden opportunity again, like you were saying. If he'd rotated his car around the other way, that would have been one of the slowest goals we would have seen in EGF.
Yeah, very slow ball there as both of those players attempted to regain possession of the ball. Z-Ball, good attempt on the shot. Sunblaze seeing that chance and manages to deny it now. Back over to Squatchy.
Yeah, the ability to get in these corner shots, I would say, is almost even better than a centering shot, right? Like center shots, just obviously a little bit harder to defend. A defender has to be predicting, a super wide left or wide right shot, beforehand to even have a chance of blocking it, really. Obviously, though, you shoot left or right, you run the risk of hitting these cross balls, as we've seen several times. And just observing here, Squatchy has changed up his car. He's going for that bigger, blockier hitbox.
Yeah, which, I mean, the Merc's an interesting one. It's got some quirks. It's the quirky Merc. And when it does work out, it does work out. But I don't think anybody is ever going to argue about just the hitboxes.
Like, if that'll be, like, meta or whatever, if that'll be, like, super
never,
picks. Yeah.
It never will be, because the Octane's hitbox is just so good. Like, there is 5 hitboxes in Rocket League. I don't know if you know about that, Tug. And
yeah.
The most ones that we see are, like, obviously the Octane, the Dominus. A lot of people liking the Plank for a while, the Batmobile.
Yep.
But
a little bit flatter.
Yeah.
Thinner.
But overall, you just don't see much of the Merc.
Well, hey, we're known for our quirkiness here at the EGF. That's the Electronic Gaming Federation, y'all. 2 minutes in, Squatchy and more getting super aggressive with that. A nice corner shot, Z-ball all over this one again. It's in the name.
But the other interesting bit, there was a bit more of my tangent. Interestingly enough, the Merc has the same hitbox as the Octane, if I'm remembering correctly.
Are you sure?
I'm almost positive. The difference.
Okay. I honestly, you know me, dude. I'm really bad with names and like and you know.
That's absolutely fine. But the point that I was getting to is that I think the issue with the Merc is or the psychology.
Oh my. Okay. Hey. So we gotta say this right because of the demolition. That's the only reason why this RIT player was back and able to defend that. Everybody else in this out of RIT was, you know, fields away, miles away, tons away. You might even say. But because he just got eliminated, he was back and had the 33 boost, was able to tap this one away. So that was a Marist College team that could have been looking at a tie, but not with Sunblaze hitting in shots like that, my friend.
Yeah, there we go. Another goal coming out from Sunblaze. I mean, RIT.
He's gotten 2, all 3 this match.
I think so.
Or no, Squatchy got the second one. Yeah, we already talked about
that. But the biggest difference overall, I was going to say, is that the Merc, I think, comes in psychologically because it's such a bigger car, even though it's a very similar hitbox.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure if other people have the same problems, but I find myself frequently after demolitions, really just kind of being lost in the sauce, not having any idea sometimes where, you know, balls and people and stuff like that are. So if you're just talking about simple more pixels blocking your screen, I think there's a lot to be said for that, you know, bigger blockier style.
Yeah. Now once again we are seeing a good attempt coming out from Marist here. This is an opportunity for them to at least try and score a goal. 15 seconds left onto the clock. If Marist can't find a goal right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be seeing RIT taking this 3-0.
Yeah, and I know it's such a cliche, like saying that, oh well, the game was tighter and closer than the score does allow, but I mean, this now it's dropping. Marist College just lost by 1 point, 1 point, and 2 points, right? Like that is just 1 point shy. I hate to be like super common sensey with it. This is just 1 point shy of the lowest score differential they could have possibly lost by.
Which just goes to show how good of a team Marist is playing at the moment, right? Like, RIT definitely the favorite in this matchup, and they proved it by managing to go 3-0. But Marist put up a fantastic game, and when we started off, it was just like Marist were just like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, Marist looked unstoppable for the first minute.
Go. Yeah, exactly. Like, literally, everybody was firing on all cylinders.
Absolutely.
Z-Ball had some fantastic defensive stops. Tones was all over in the air, flying around, bat out of hell, making shots left and right, and like really impressive ones too, and all like just so quickly too. Like what I think it was 3 50-50s, not in a row. It was 2 50-50s in the fourth one where they won, just like clearly definitively, and that just simply doesn't happen as much, right?
No, it really doesn't. And seeing that just so consistent is a fantastic thing to seeing out of Marist, and if they can just hone that in to do that all the time. If they can be consistently consistent,
I'm with it.
They will be an incredible team. And every single week we're seeing them just get a tiny step closer to that. And I'm looking forward to them hitting their final form. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be hopping to a very short break as we switch up everything. And we will be having Niagara Esports playing against Quinnipiac. We'll be back with you momentarily. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to EGF Season 1. Of course, we just saw Marist College play against RIT. RIT managing to take that 3-0. And now we're going on to Niagara University playing against Quinnipiac.
Yes, sir.
Looking forward to this?
I am looking forward to it very much. Part of the reason why I'm looking forward to this so much there, Navik, is because these two teams' win-loss ratios thus far. This is only week 3. These two teams have played 2 games. Both of them have lost both. Now, Niagara University and Quinnipiac both have very close games. Niagara in week 1, Quinnipiac's week 2 match was very close. But one way or another, I can guarantee that one of these teams will be leaving with their first W here in this season, the EGFC, that is the Electronic Gaming Federation Collegiate.
Yeah, and coming in, we should be getting into the game very, very quickly. I'm excited to see this. Quinnipiac is one of those teams that we've not seen super duper. Like, you know, you've not seen them constantly.
Yeah. They're newer.
This is their 3rd week in general in EGF. So I'm looking forward every time we see them play. I'm like, oh, that might bring something new. You know, I don't know what their regimen is. I don't know how they practice. But we are going to be jumping into that game, and I'm looking forward to it. I really don't know who's going to win this one because I feel like both of these teams are similar skill level overall.
Yeah, Navik, I feel like you and I have been doing the almost like favors coming in, which I really like. Obviously, kind of a traditional sports look to it. Oh my goodness, Matt Muskie starting this one off already. My oh my. We talked to him a little bit in lobby beforehand, but yeah, I was just going to agree with you.
Yeah.
These two teams very evenly matched, and Quinnipiac specifically, you and I have not had a whole lot of opportunity to watch and spectate. So, really, ball's up in the air, pun intended.
Yeah, the ball is up in the air as it does go into the kickoff. We already see a goal coming out from Quinnipiac, though.
Yeah, 1-0, nice little lead. Just started off, again, 9 seconds. Just talking about last game, again, we saw 4 goals, 45 seconds, and then a second bounce shot. Okay, talking about last game again, right? We saw Z-Ball just do something like this, not fought in, 10 minutes ago? Like, this ball come all the way in and just not get, left alone, right? It's got its AirPods on the subway, and he wants to be left alone, and everybody did.
And he managed to right there, right? Being able to find that second goal, that's a very good start for Quinnipiac.
Yeah, I mean, really, we talk about... Okay. Apparently, Grubb's not even going to let me get my statements out about how it's really good for his team to have a scoreline like this so far. But, seriously, that was a fantastic angle. Nobody touched that one. I think would have gone on anyway, but it was a good job by Grubb to recognize that because the defender was coming in. He was coming in and blazing.
Yeah, now once again, I mean, 3 goals up. We're not even 30 seconds. We've just hit the 30-second mark. This is looking like game 1 with Marist versus RIT.
It is. And this could just be, again, just like what we're pretty sure went on with them. This might be a Niagara University team that has not gotten the opportunity to warm up. These are obviously college teams. These are college students with college classes.
Yeah.
Rocket League is an awesome esport in every way, shape, and form, but there are simple priorities in this life. So,
again, looking for a good cow. Oh my God, Grubb there with the dribble. A very nice show of skill.
Yeah, seriously, if he got all past all 3 players, that'd be clip-worthy all day for at least this game so far. You'd be hard-pressed to really make a harder clip than that, or a better clip than that, because that was past all 3.
Yeah, that goes into
pressure
on
up,
right?
Yeah, exactly. Pressure on up against Quinnipiac. Matt's the only one there to defend, and that was Mitt down bottom who just kind of opted to come away from ball for a second. I wish we had a replay on that one, because I'm not sure what happened there.
Yeah, no, that's a bit of an odd one. Now Mitt looking for the touch, contests Matt. Matt coming out. I mean, it's a lot of back and forth at the moment. Quinnipiac, of course, being up 3 goals. We're coming into 2 minutes on the first game. I mean, both of these teams are currently, neither of them have a series win. So like you said, there is 100% of the chance that there is a 50% of the chance that one of these teams comes out with a win.
What, works all the time, half the time?
Yeah. Well, no, there's 100% that one of them comes out with a win, but it's a 50-50 on who it is. And at the moment, Quinnipiac are trying to make it them.
Yeah, and with shots like that, they'll have no problems. Matt Muskie coming in just a hair too fast, a little bit too hard of a touch, because that one just really got rocketed up in the corner. Just a little bit softer, and that'd have been money all day long. Zook back, nice defensive block. A lot to be said for rotations, and now Quinnipiac is there.
Again, Kind of a slow play. Grub looking for a touch. I really like Grub's control of the ball. He's really like forcing the pace, and it's his option of how fast or slow once he gets his hand on it.
100%. That is almost word for word what I was going to say about our friend Grub here. His ball control coming up, and it's got to be almost not condescending, but like intimidating. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah. Intimidating. And he's done it a couple times already, right?
Yeah, no, he has been able to slow play a ball and then immediately give it momentum, or do vice versa. And I think that's an important thing overall, right? Being able to control the momentum of the game is super duper important to throwing your opposition off, especially when it comes to defense.
Yeah, I mean, so far it just kind of looks like he's their optimal initial hitter, right? Several times we've seen Matt Muskie come up behind him. Zook, again, seems like he's kind of playing more behind. Matt Muskie has been doing that some, but really that's Grub starting these offensive pushes and getting up there, and again, just doing a good job of straight up intimidating defenders. He's doing it again. Grub at it. Nice knock away, though. Ost all over the rebound.
Yep, here we go once again. The touch drops it down. Oh, okay, I thought for a second there we might have been seeing goal number 4, but at the moment, Quinnipiac managing to get a very good lead.
Yeah, 4 all the way up. That one kind of being a slower bounce, or no, excuse me. That was Niagara University coming through here with 1. So a minute left. I'm just getting stuff mixed up. Sorry. Minute left. 2 score difference. Not that big a deal. This is still game 1 out of best of 5. So whoever loses this one's still gonna have at least 2 more opportunities.
Got Pat.
While just kind of hanging out this side. Looks like Mid and teammate trying to set something up here, but kind of just let ball go, and just like that, Quinnipiac has control and up front, but again, kind of knocks that one away, and they give up possession. It's just they're being very sportsmanlike. They want to make sure everybody has equal time on the ball, and everybody gets play time, right?
Yeah.
They're being polite. That's what's going on. I'm of course being facetious. 30 seconds left here. 2 left. This is Quinnipiac, who will be very, very content just to let this ball, hang out, burn this last 20 seconds. But as opposed, they're actually getting aggressive with the Austin company on defense.
Okay. Oh, go for the chip. And 10 seconds left onto the clock, right? Oh, that's 5 now. It's pretty much
that looks
guaranteed.
like it was...
Okay. So it's now factually impossible for Niagara to catch up into game 1, which is a good start for Quinnipiac. But I feel like this could go either way. I think Quinnipiac just got a very good start. Grub played incredibly.
Yes. I believe he has 3 of those. Oh, no, sorry. He does have 2. Matt Muskie has the other 2. Like I kind of was saying, Zeus seems like he's playing a little bit more defensively. Navik, you and I have talked multiple times on casts with Rocket League, EGF, Collegiate, and High School about how it just kind of seems like higher level Rocket League, it's agreed there's not these roles, right?
No,
but
it
seems like Quinnipiac, just real quick, it seems like Quinnipiac has really taken advantage of having more of a defensive and offensive player, and we're just looking at the stats here, right? Grub, 1 goal, 3 assists. Those were Matt Muskie's other 2 right there, so I did misrepresent that. I thought that Grub had gotten 2. Zook did get 1 himself, but 7 shots, 3 assists. Grub all over it.
Yeah.
Did not have a save, whereas Zook did.
Zook has a goal, but doesn't have any shots.
Yeah, not necessarily something you'll see every day. Now, was that one that Niagara kind of let it helped it in a little bit?
I think so. I think that's what happened there. But either way, we're going to be getting into game number 2, and Quinnipiac managing to get game 1 in the best of 5 is a good start.
Yeah, for sure. In a scoreline like that, well, we talked about intimidation a little bit, kind of what Grub was doing. I would say an advantage of a 3 is that's like a definitive win, right?
Right.
Putting best foot forward and something like that in game 1 really does a lot for the mental competition that is going on consistently here.
Coming into the kick. See Mitt, but can play it kind of defensively for Ost. Niagara are going to be able to want to take this game, right? They don't want to be put in a position where they have to win 3.
No, nobody ever wants to, like, there's a lot to be said, pressure makes diamonds. That's my anecdotal statement of this game so far, at least. But nobody wants to be forced into that. Again, there's a lot to be said for pressure, practice, things like this, kind of like I was saying how overtime is earlier, but nobody wants to be forced into that corner. Zook with a total whiff here. Wow, not something you're going to see every day.
Yeah. Playing it slow. It's a good play coming out from Quinnipiac overall, right? They're managing to find these good plays. Ost with the defensive here, not trying to go too fast. I think that it is a fairly slow game overall when you compare it to like that Marist versus RIT game we saw last time. But I don't think that's a negative thing. That was a very nice play coming up from Matt Muskie.
Yeah, we were talking about Grubb with the fancy footwork and dribbling past defenders 2 or 3 at a time, but that was Matt and Muskie showing off what he can do. Ost was up kind of in front of goal expecting, you know, some sort of pass or something like that, but hey, you want something done? Matt Muskie says you do it yourself. Corner shot, that's got a great angle on it too. Ost says no sir, gets aggressive with it himself. Pass is now down the middle. Looks like Grubb's looking to take this, kind of recreate what he was doing earlier. Did get past one, but actually a nice tap, I believe, there by Ost. Sets him off course, and just like that, ball getting knocked off towards the middle, so pressure is still kind of on Niagara, but nobody's really possessed this ball in the quintessential form the past 30 seconds or so, but now Austin Moore, Niagara University, setting this one up, and again, just kind of get away from it, actually, kind of what Ost just did to Grubb. Matt Muskie, I believe, did to Ost, just, again, tapping him just ever so slightly and really knocking him off course here. Setting up, you know, their team to take possession. Another whiff here, and Legends pays for it afterwards with a nasty demolition against him.
Coming in for a touch, Matt tries to rub on top of it. I'm intrigued overall, right? Because there's no like dominating play from either teams at the moment. It's just been smart plays finding good goals.
Really slow too. You mentioned that earlier. I feel like a lot of these could be made better offensively if they kind of realize, if they, you know, they execute a little bit faster, and you're not going to give that defensive team just you know, time to set up. There's so much to be said for allowing teams time to, you know, get these rotations off, and if you do, you're just not going to find advantage there.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things where, because of the slower play, you can't make such a
What is going...
That's going to be...
See, like, what was going on there?
So, right,
now, maybe this is the opposite, actually, of what I was talking about. Like, he went for it, like, really, really quickly, and Quinnipiac did not have time to set up. I don't know. Give me yours, please.
Yeah, there was. I think there was a bit of communication breakdown there. The game has been so slow, so I don't think that they just thought that they were going to commit like.
So nobody committed on top of it. So like kind of a miscommunication, sort of. Like nobody opted to come back there. Nobody gave. I got the shot. Okay. Ooh, Ost actually knocking this one just ever so slightly off course. That was on its way, and Grubb did miss. Of course, you can't anticipate another player missing, especially up, you know, that close.
Again, the touch. Austin trying to find, like, Austin in general is trying to catch up and get a win for his team at the moment. He's been playing very aggressively, like, of recent. He's picking up the pace, but Quinnipiac see an opportunity. Oh my goodness, I thought that was going to go in.
Yeah, another example. I'm not sure if these guys are listening to what we're saying, like definitively, and wanting to like prove an opposite or whatever. But it kind of seems like we've seen a change in play. You know, I mentioned something about the defense, about not accidentally allowing defensive teams time to set up, but now we've seen players just playing this ball really aggressively and really, really quickly, and coming off the back of that are some of these almost too hard hits that they have like these breakaways, but because they come in too fast, it's knocked off the corners or sides, and that was the exact opposite of what I was talking about. Matt Muskie with a mid-court shot, dead on, just barely off to the left here, no defender in sight.
Yeah, I mean, and that's going to be Quinnipiac managing to score that second goal, taking the lead 50 seconds on the clock. They could be putting Niagara into that situation where they do just need to come back to the game.
One scored. Zook knocking it in there, taking advantage. Nice bounce rebound. Got the American flag flying in the back. Love to see it. Mid and Ost both double committed for that, right? It wasn't even a ball that was going in.
Yeah, no, it didn't actually. That was a bit of an interesting play because, like you said, I don't think it was going to go in. The double commit didn't need to happen anyway. Even if it was going to go in, one of them should have been able to save it. Mitt getting a decent kickoff. The rotation comes out onto Ost. Ost is going to look to chip it up. There is a bit of miscommunication again. And that might have been a goal for Niagara, but Zook manages to clear that one up. 30 seconds left onto the clock, Tug. And it is in Quinnipiac's favor.
Yeah, perfect hit by him. Like you said, Quinnipiac's favor. They just won game 1, 4-1. They get another score here, especially Matt Muskie continues on the fancy footwork. Just barely, again, clipping this, just going a tiny bit too fast. Now, Mitt and company nail this one right now. They might have time. Not going to happen. Quinnipiac looks like they're going to be taking this one at least 3-1. Ball is down, 3-1. Quinnipiac up 2-0 in the series.
Again, yeah, I mean, Quinnipiac going up 2 goals, like, fairly quickly. Or they got one, then it tied up, and then they managed to find the other 2. And I think that was just good momentum. It was good pacing for them.
Yeah, and there's a lot to be said for pacing. You know, maybe setting the cruise control. Oh, yuck. But a little bit of a different story as far as defensively. Well, I was, last time we were here looking at these stat lines, I was mentioning how different players playing different roles. Definitely more even, more spread out across here. Zook, especially with 3 shots on goal. Now, the 2 saves there still spells to a more defensive player. But wait, Grubb? Yeah, Grubb, Zook, Matt Muskie. Yeah, sorry, that was Grubb who was super aggressive in game 1. My bad.
No, Grubb was, and they kind of rotated it around. We do see Zook getting a few more shots overall, and I think that dispels what you were saying earlier about how they kind of lean into the role selection. I think it's just how it ended up playing out in game number 1.
Okay, so yeah, just a single instance of what I was saying is what, yeah.
But coming into game number 3, we do see, of course, Quinnipiac having the upper hand overall. So Niagara really need to play here. They really need to be able to find something early, because if not, they are just going to lose the series.
Yeah, straight up.
Like,
I like your straightforward.
Yeah, there's no other way of putting it, right? You can't sugarcoat it. They're in a situation where their backs are against the wall. If they can't find some momentum here, they've just lost another series. But
yeah, and I would say both teams really did suffer off of the miscoordinations last time. Game could have gone either way based on some of those mistakes, right?
Yeah.
We saw double commits. The one in particular did result in a point, in a score overall, but there were a couple others, again, when there are offensive setups coming in and the teammates simply didn't respond in time, and because of that, your defending team at the time had time to go forth, rotate all the way around, set up, and communicate on their own.
Yeah, that's a big thing, right? Is communication. Like, I mean, I know this is like explaining just the basics, but it's almost like communication's important. And when there's a breakdown of communication, you end up making a lot more mistakes, especially in Rocket League. You can't solo carry in Rocket League. Like, in theory, you could out dribble an entire team and find goal after goal. But it's much more difficult than playing something like Overwatch or like a MOBA, where you can just get ahead, you can find positions, you can make amazing plays. You do a similar effect, but not to the same measure or dramaticness of those games. And that's why, especially in a team environment, this communication is so important. That was so unfortunate.
Yeah, we all saw what happened there. That's the only way to describe that one. Just unfortunate. That was us hitting that back, but because there was no jump and because he stayed flat, the ball just ended up hitting that angle just perfectly, not going too high, and not also hitting the back of his car at that flat angle, so where it got stopped.
Yeah, but again, it's one of those situations. Quinnipiac here finding that early goal. Well, I say early goal, we're like nearly halfway into the game, but finding that first goal Niagara really needs to retort here, and it looked like a great opportunity for Mitt there, but just couldn't commit.
Yeah. Yep. I'm with it. Rolling all the way in there by himself almost was Matt Muskie. Mitt all over there. The battle of the M names here, it looks like. But, like I said, about halfway in. What we need to be looking for is either team getting aggressive. I mean, like you said with it, I guess we keep saying it, but just playing more coordinated on these aggressive pushes too, because, again, there's been miscoordinations where there's been opposite opportunities for one player who's gotten the ball in a really great position for his team, but then simply no backup from his two teammates.
Yeah, and that is the unfortunate reality of it sometimes, right? Where it does just come down to that situation of you just aren't coordinated, you miscommunicate, you make the wrong call, or there's just not the rotations in time. And that seems to be what is plaguing Niagara this series. We're going to see an opportunity from here. And there, Ost accidentally used his flip a bit too early, whiffed, and mispredicted the ball.
See, like right there, it almost seems like that was 3 players that were there, 2 Quinnipiac players that were simply not set up, and one was going for boost, and maybe just a hesitation to go forth and execute, right? I don't know. It's hard to put my finger on what Niagara University is doing wrong right now.
It's more of a lack of confidence, I think, coming out from Niagara, right? They're 2 games down, the pressure's on them, they need to find a goal. If they don't, they're out, like, they lose the series.
Yeah,
and
that's
like,
it, yeah.
Yeah, and that's a lot of pressure overall. And on top of that, when that pressure
another breakaway.
Yeah, but now Ost is going to get a touch. It's going to go off the corner. Yeah, Mitt whiffs it. Then Future Legend's going to try and set it back up. Contest comes out. We're going to see a rotation coming out from Mitt. Oh, sorry, that was Ost. Mitt maybe coming up behind it. No, Ost intercepting there, but there wasn't even a call out. Or I couldn't see a situation there where we saw Future Legend rotating.
And now pressure's against him, and wow, with a couple nice aerial wall bounces there, Matt Muskie kind of setting up for himself there. That's 1, 2. There's the third, just a tiny little tap, and both defenders staring at the ball. I don't know.
Coming out. It's a minute left on the clock, 2 goals. It's 100% possible for Niagara to be able to catch up here. They just
plenty of time.
Find a good breakaway, and that's it, really. Find a good breakaway and confirm it.
Yeah, and take advantage of it, especially because, like, I was just going to say that Quinnipiac has whiffed a couple of these, and I'm not singling anybody out here. Grubb, Zook, Matt Muskie, everybody has whiffed a couple of these, and a lot of them more so are happening midfield, so they're not resulting in scores so much, but I mean, that right now is a perfect example, because pressure is on Quinnipiac right now because Zook missed it a second ago in midfield. There's a really good rebound now, so pressure has changed. My goodness.
Grubb.
I'm glad I had director cam on for that one, because Grubb just, again, walking the dog all the way in, call it a yo-yo trick.
Here we go with the yo-yo trick.
You liked that one so much last week, I'm going to repeat it.
I'm convinced you're yo-yo obsessed.
2 statements, yo-yo obsessed.
Yo-yo obsessed.
With it.
15 seconds left onto the clock. I think it's pretty safe to say that the nail's in the coffin for this one.
Yeah. 15, no, but now at 8, especially with this ball spinning all the time up there, and Quinnipiac just knowing what they need to do. Game's over, unfortunately. 3-0 scoreline here for Quinnipiac versus Niagara University. Oh, excuse me. I shouldn't call it so easily. Yep, and that's why. Oh, man, I almost wanted to be proved wrong there at the end. Quinnipiac up here, 3-0. So that's the second 3-0, but that is Quinnipiac's first W. 1 and 2 is their overall win-loss ratio. Niagara University, unfortunately, dropping down to 0 and 3, Navik.
Yeah, and coming into that was a unfortunate game for Niagara overall. Quinnipiac, though, being able to find their first series win should bestow some confidence in the team overall, and I'm looking forward to seeing them play next week. We're moving, actually ahead of schedule, for possibly the first time ever, Tug. We are moving in to Manhattan, but, you know, time joke.
That has nothing to do with my time management skills, all right, Navik?
We are moving into Manhattan, playing against UT Arlington. Now, we've seen Manhattan play before. They played well, but, and I say this every time, man, UT Arlington are horrifying. They are such a good team that I am afraid for every single team that plays against them.
Well, all of these players are adults, so I'm sure they'll live through an epic. I don't think you have to worry about them that
Absolutely.
much.
But it's one of those ones where I'm always like, oh no. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be hopping to a very short break as we prepare for game number 3 of the evening. That will be Manhattan playing at UT Arlington. We'll be back with you momentarily. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. I hope you're excited for after that little break. We have Manhattan College playing against UTA. Tug, are you excited?
I'm lit. I'm excited. I'm here for it. I'm ecstatic.
Yeah, this is game 3 of the night already. These have flown by.
Yes, they have. Yes, they have. Part of the reason they have flown by, my friend Navik, is the simple fact that the first two were 3-0s. Now we are coming into another best of 5 between the University of Arlington and Manhattan. Now, Manhattan College, excuse me, Manhattan College is 0-1 in this series for the EGFC Season 1. They had a bye week in Week 1, whereas the UT, that is the University of Arlington, did have a bye week in round 2. So both of these teams have only gotten to play one actual EGFC Season 1 game thus far.
Yeah, and I mean, I've said it time and time again. I hype up this school every single time they play. UT Arlington are a whole nother beast. And I'm really interested to see, since these teams have never played against each other, how Manhattan fares. But already Adverse putting it in from midfield.
Yeah, midfield, like you said, a slightly farther shot than normal, one could say. But I'm 100% there with you, man. I love the fact that until we hit, I think, Week 6, we don't have any teams playing against another, any team is playing against the same team twice, is what I'm saying. And a lot of these are the very first matchups, given there's some newer teams here in the EGFC. Now Adverse looking to take a second one. Cousin Samba all over that rebound and putting it up for Adverse.
That's going to be goal number 2. And this is going to be the interesting case, because either Manhattan are going to be able to stick their ground and start fighting back, or this will be a good 15 minutes of UTA just scoring over and over again, because this is one of those teams that if you don't defend, they are just going to put it in.
Yeah, they're just going to take it advantage all day long. That was the University of Arlington, who did win last season. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Yes, I do believe they came in first, and that is par for the course here. 40 seconds, or less than 40 seconds for the first 2 in pressure, continuing on. Now, for the first time, looks like UTA is now has some against theirs. Palazzi, or sorry, that's Powell's 21, looking to take this one away, and did. 1 minute.
If I do remember correctly, the Founders Invitational, which was the not the season prior, but it's the Invitational prior, like kind of building up towards this season. The grand finals was the University of Delaware against UT Arlington.
Yep.
UT Arlington, it was the best of 7, and they took them to game 6. I believe UT Arlington won the first 3. Then Delaware
came back showing some life.
Yeah, won like 2. And then UT Arlington managed to close it out. We thought we were going to go to a game 7, but didn't quite get there. And I believe both of them were undefeated until the final, like the grand finals.
Watching this setup here is beautiful, but of course this did happen because JoJo, Cash, Monies, and Pals21 all not double but triple committed onto this ball. Some history coming out from Navik, though. I want to let him finish.
Yeah, series overall. So, UT Arlington, very difficult team to beat. The University of Delaware, which we will be seeing next game, also
Yes, sir.
an incredible team, and somebody that if people are trying to keep out for some of those scary contenders who might end up in that grand final, these two are definitely two schools to be looking out for.
Likely playoff appearances by these two teams that we're mentioning. That's the University of Arlington and University of Delaware, who we'll see later. A very long shot from Genghis, putting this scoreline up 4-0, and we're not even at halftime, Navik.
No, and this is what I was saying, and this was, I guess,
I just realized, excuse me, that was Adverse really making the long legwork on that one, and Genghis coming in just for show at the end to tap this one. But he got the stat.
Yeah, and this was the concern, and this is what happens every time we see a new team play against UTA. Is
oh man,
they don't know what to expect because maybe they don't know UTA's reputation, but it happened against Canisius, it happened against Marist, it happened, I believe, against Siena as well, where UTA just was non-stop, like, brutal.
Yeah,
They were brutal games is the only word that I can come up to describe it, and we're seeing it again here.
I mean, I gotta say, University of Arlington not taking anything away from them in this statement whatsoever, but the past two scores so far, Navik, have been the result. Again, JoJo, Pals21, Cash Money, triple committing onto a ball. That last one, if they just had one player back a little bit, might have been a different story, but as it is, they are staring down the double-barreled shotgun that is the 5-0 scoreline that we are presently at. 2 minutes is plenty of time to come back, but it is getting farther and farther away, and less likely by the second, especially with this 6th now scorer, Genghis' 3rd. My oh my.
Yeah, and I think this is where the difficulty, right, where you kind of have to kind of bite it and go. It's hard to bear down. Game 1 is looking, it's a UTA game all the way. However, Manhattan coming into game 2, this is the wonderful thing about Rocket League, right, is that after this first game, scores reset 0-0, reset the timer, they know what they're up against now, they have like a minute and a half in between the games to kind of reevaluate the situation, and then go at it in a completely different form. So, that's what we should be seeing.
I mean, that's another reason why I love Rocket League, Navik. Such a simple game overall, that can be taken to the absolute most complex and complicated that you can get it, and that is only limited by individual player skill and how that team operates as a trio for this format. Of course, doubles is out there, solos not really a legitimate Rocket League competitive scene. But the simple fact, that simple fact can be just completely personified in our Game 1 to Game 2 difference coming in between Marist College and RIT, right?
Yeah.
Earlier, 9 scores total, 4 of them coming in less than 40 seconds, all right? And then RIT still coming back, putting up 5 in a row to take that one. Now, this is only a little bit different from that. This is, you know, if Marist College hadn't got stopped at 4, they might have gotten to 7. But now we're looking at 7-0, and this is only game 1. Kind of like you were saying, there is nothing saying on God's green earth that Manhattan could not come back here and do the same exact thing the University of Arlington is doing to them right now.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of every Rocket League game, it's a bit of a Thanos snap, right? It just resets, we come back to ground zero, and that's how that works.
Yeah, to the true neutral, the true 50-50.
Exactly.
I'm with it.
No advantage state, no disadvantage state. We're back to neutrals as we say in the FGC.
Well, I guess here's where the point that I'll make. There's no real advantages, right? The rest is in your head. We've talked about momentum. We've talked about intimidation and what that can do. Now, are you going to let a stomp come forth and affect your game 2 and 3's performance? I'll tell you that the University of Arlington certainly hopes so.
Yeah, it's not like other games where, like, in something like Overwatch, you have like your ult economy, or in a MOBA, you have your items. Or even in
or
Counter-Strike,
just simple
where
time
you have
in
your
the second
economy.
round, right?
Yeah.
Like you know, you can be beaten by a differential that matters coming into the next round, or whatever else.
Exactly.
You know?
Right?
If this was formally split apart in half times or whatever, then yeah, that'd be different.
Yes.
But it's not.
No, the goals don't carry on from game to game. We'll reset. That 7-0 is now 0-0 coming into game 2.
Yep. Now, these points will matter overall for, you know, almost like kind of for us, right? Because no, there's no team here that's going to be going through and opting not to, opting not to score as many points as they can, because at the end of all of this, when we're talking about playoff positioning and who gets it and who simply does not, then we will talk about when teams do have even win-loss ratios, which does happen frequently. We only got 9 rounds, right? We only have 9 weeks, right?
Yeah.
And with each team on a bye week, that's only 8. Especially with even numbers, that can lead and has led to before teams coming through with even win-loss ratios, and you have to have a decider, right? You can't say both get in just because everybody's feeling good and doing well.
Yeah.
Here in the EGFC, we then go to the total points scored. Is that correct?
Yeah, and the total points scored determines the thing.
Yes.
If they have a tied record overall.
Yes, and if Arlington can recreate this, then their 3-0 wins will simply mean more than other 3-0 wins because they just got 7 points.
Yeah, then 7 points is a good amount.
Yeah, I think it's a fair statement. 7 points is a good amount.
It is indeed.
Yeah. Game 2, though, like you said, true neutral 50-50. This is a new dawn, a new day.
Yeah, and now, like we said, back into that neutral game, back into the 0-0. Manhattan could score 1 goal now, and they'd have the lead. Good save coming out from Cows.
Yeah, really, really good
Growing
save.
defense.
And JoJo following up with a second one. Nice little tipper there. Oh, my God. Adverse, though, just showing his prowess. That was a fantastic job coming in really fast, too, but not hitting this one too high. That's just a perfect angle in the front of that Octane car, right? That's the player box?
The Octane, yep, that is correct.
Okay, there you go. All right. I got my name, kind of.
Yeah, you're learning. Now, coming into the kickoff here, Cash Money. Then I go to JoJo. That was very Cash Money of him. Gets intercepted.
Very Cash Money of you.
Gets intercepted, goes back over. Genghis. Our boy Genghis coming out, gets a good touch. Back over to Genghis, looking to shot Pals in the goal. Over to Cash Money, trying to intercept Genghis. Going over to Cousin Samba. Cousin, the real cousin. Good bounce, plays it off of the wall, getting chased down by Cash Money.
Yeah, that was interesting. Some players would have opted to dump ball down at that point and to start the guillotine movement, but I'm not sure if teammates were in position there. JoJo and that's back block. This is the UTA who's kind of opting to just, let Manhattan play with that and see if it goes in the goal, right?
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of played it out slow. I think UTA seem to do this a little bit, where they'll start to slow play after they get an absolutely massive game, and just test things, right? And that really, really did work out. That was a bit of a funky goal coming out from Adverse.
Hang on, yeah.
So Adverse hit it.
Little pinball over here.
Yeah, Adverse hit it. It went to the crossbar.
Up top.
Hit Adverse back in.
Oh my. Yeah, okay, so especially with that shot earlier, there was just the absolute perfect angle and him coming at it very fast. Then I kind of want to say it's like, it almost makes you think that it's luck, but a player like that, nope, that's skill. That is thousands of hours of Rocket League probably right there, ladies and gentlemen.
That's just pure Rocket League.
And Genghis coming in again, releasing the T-Rexes. This is his first, I believe, because I think Adverse got the first 2 goals.
I believe so. Now, coming out, 3 goals already for UTA.
JoJo and Moore have been trying to get it in. It's not that they have had no time of possession. Oh man, it's just that this freaking UTA team can score anywhere on this board.
Yeah, I mean that's GTA for you though. They like we said time.
Some people would think that's a rebound, right? Nope, that's a pass. And Genghis Khan's knocked that one in every time.
Yeah, I mean this team knows what they're doing. If there's going to be a hard matchup for Manhattan, it is going to be the Founders Invitational winners, right?
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Of course, this is not Founders. This is the regular season EGFC, just to be clear. but like for our viewers, not for you. You know
Yes,
this, obviously.
absolutely.
But we will have more Founders Cup stuff, and that just being kind of fun individual event. But this is regular season, and this is, so far, speaking objectively, UTA running away with it.
Yeah, UTA there, putting in their 5th goal. There's still 3 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, I think that's Cousin Samba's actual first of this match. He did get one last game, but so far this has been the Genghis show.
You know, I wonder, Genghis has to be named after Genghis Khan, right? Like,
100%. I was kind of thinking about that. Like, I don't think there's any other real reference or anything else like that that I know of. And you know, Genghis Khan was like related to, or something like 4% of Asian people can relate their lineage to Genghis Khan because of how much he, you know, procreated, we'll say.
I think it's a lot more than that. I think it's 1 in every 200 men are direct descendants of him.
Well, that would be like 0.5%, right?
I mean,
I said 4%. 4% seems high.
You're 1 in every 200 if we're gonna say that it's like.
Yeah, that'd be 0.5%, right? And 1 in 100 would be 1%.
I mean, no, because you got to go off of the entirety of humanity, which it would be like.
Oh, you mean everybody?
Yeah.
I thought it was just. I was going off of like all Asian countries. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, no,
That'd be interesting to know. It'd be interesting to know.
Yeah, I'm going off humanity, which is still, I'd say, probably about 0.5%. If we're going.
Let's just be clear. It's absolutely ridiculous, no matter which. Yeah, that's just like so many people.
Yeah,
right?
no.
Like,
I mean, if anybody wanted a lineage, he got it. He definitely got it.
Yep.
And
that's all you, my friend.
Yeah.
If it was a competition, you won.
Yeah, there you go. Congratulations.
Nice block there by JoJo, coming in fast and hard. But this pressure has really been, again, well, I know we've been talking about Genghis Khan, but different kind of warfare we're talking about here in Rocket League fields. This has been the UTA, man, the pressure has just been against, excuse me, has been against Manhattan just for the past 45 seconds or so. Even though that ball just only spent a second or so on the other side of the field, this is the first time I even saw orange for a while here.
Out looking for a good touch here from Genghis. Goes over to cousin Samba, who might be Genghis's cousin. Very, very long descendant. Coming down.
Well,
it's
just
a good
he's got a lot of
touch over to
times.
Adverse. He's going to put it in. In it once again, and yeah, I mean that's gonna be 7 goals up. That is a lot of goals.
That is. We're looking. So what? They had the 7-0 scoreline from game 2, correct?
I believe so. Yeah.
Or game 1. Yeah, that was 0-7. They were looking to recreate it again, and once again, the overall points here do matter in the day. It's not just win-loss record, because especially with only 8 games played in a season, that can result in tied up win-loss ratios. So this is a UT Arlington team that is working towards their playoff, better playoff position if they're in contention within their team with the same win-loss record.
Whew. 7 goals. They got a 7-goal last game, I believe, as well, right? So that's like 14 points overall.
It is. Looking at, 3 players on a team that's, just shy of an average of 5 per player per game. Now that's 8. Man, oh man. Cousin Samba, Genghis, and Adverse simply playing some very, very good Rocket League right now. 28 seconds to go. This will be a Manhattan College team. JoJo, Cash Monies, and Pals need to get together, figure out what's going on, try and attack that and make the most out of this one. They still have an entire game. That 50-50 will be there. But man, oh man, if the University of Arlington is able to push us up to 10, go double digits up against 0, that will be a serious, serious mental blow.
Yeah, I mean, 9 goals up. There's 25 seconds left onto the clock. It's one of those times.
I mean, there's a lot of things going on right now.
Yeah,
but, there are a lot of things that earlier I was able to point out. There was triple teaming going on by University of Manhattan, but the scoreline reflects that there's a lot of things that UT is just simply doing better. Just to report the news.
Yeah, it's a bit of a nerve-wracking situation when you're Manhattan, though, right? Because this is, like they said, they had a bye, right? This is their second game, and they're coming against UT. Like, UTA is a strong team in and of themselves. I believe they played against Canisius last week as well.
They did.
Also,
Wait, are you talking about Arlington, UT Arlington, or Manhattan?
No, playing Manhattan. UT Arlington had a bye week 2.
Yes, Manhattan played Canisius College. They lost 3-0. Lost by a score of 1, score of 3, and a score of 3. So, yeah, a much closer game. Unfortunately, it looks like Manhattan College. Yeah, okay. So one of those games was a goose egg as well. Was a 0, but the other two, 1 and 2, especially the second game that, so they did drop by 3. So. Yeah, just speaking objectively, Manhattan College not having their best season, but Manhattan College is also a newer team to the EGFC than University of Arlington, correct?
I was talking to Manhattan Smash captain yesterday. And I'm pretty sure Manhattan's esports program in general is fairly new.
Yeah, which is kind of interesting, right? For Manhattan, New York City, right?
But you're playing against UT Arlington, who have been playing Rocket League together as a trio for an unbelievably long time, and consistently at an extremely high level for a very long time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that just. So sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, if you're a new team, it's a very difficult situation.
Yeah. I think this, perhaps the underlying story here is just how much there is going on in Texas when it comes to esports, right? Arlington itself, of course, has the esports arena, of which there's, the HyperX esports arena in Vegas. There's a couple esports arenas in Los Angeles, if you can imagine. But outside of that, you're looking at Arlington, Texas. Houston Outlaws have a team. The Dallas Fuel. That's the name of the team.
Yep.
Dallas Fuel have their own team. There's a lot going on in Texas, and the University of Arlington, like you said, this is a team that's been playing together for a very long time. Perhaps this is the result when collegiate esports, when esports is becoming more and more accepted in a place, and then collegiate esports is able to foster. Is able to go forth and flourish. You have teams performing like this.
Yeah, especially in a game like Rocket League, right? Rocket League is renowned for its support of collegiate players.
Yes. And also, what team, what university on the planet, even, and I'm not saying like any team specifically, any college specifically, but there are very strict colleges and universities, let's say, that would have a problem with some other esports, like even Fortnite, even though. Personally, I think that the cartoony, violence there is not anywhere near as bad as, say, something like Gears of War. But really, this is Rocket League, right? It's flying car soccer. There's nothing about this that I think that anybody could objectively say is morally bad or anything else like that, right?
Yeah.
Or
has a detriment. Like some hatred for cars that we'd be getting into, the planet.
The only thing I could really see is demolitions, right? But that's just literally a puff of smoke and little bit of fire, and you're coming back in 2 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if anybody was to have an issue with things, it might be the cosmetic goal animations.
I could see that, but you can disable those.
There's very few, I feel like you'd have to be so picky and so I don't know. You'd have to be that kind of person.
I'll say there are individuals in this world that may be that picky, but again, that is something aesthetically that doesn't change the game whatsoever, and could be changed. In that situation, this would not be the first esports that forces a default skin onto participating players by any means. But my very, very long point here, again, is that perhaps this is what happens, ladies and gentlemen, everybody paying attention, when esports is simply more accepted. You have. A team like University of Arlington won Founders Cup, coming through here doing huge things in a state, in a place that is simply more accepting of the awesome business and competition that is esports, right?
Absolutely.
I don't know. I'm getting up in arms.
No, but I get where you're coming from. And as we've been talking, UTA's been scoring. It's one of those things at the moment where Manhattan just needs to use this game as a learning experience. They're a fairly new esports group. Overall, they're a fairly new team overall, and like you said, Arlington is one of the few places that has an esports arena, and this is a team that's been playing against, with each other for, as far as I'm aware, over a year. It's hard to come up against that.
It is. There's a bunch of story there. There's a bunch of. I mean, just think about simply how many times this team has communicated with each other, like individually, right?
Yeah, and gotten to know each other.
There's a lot of
like
ego in esports,
level.
right? Yeah. There's a lot of ego in esports. I think that's a fair statement, right?
There definitely can
especially in games in general that have less defined roles, right?
Sure.
You're looking at Overwatch, something like that. Even there's a statement to be made for like soft supports and main supports, or off tanks and main tanks, right? Yeah. Like, yes, they're still both tanks, but that's still your individual role. So nobody's like, outperforming you in that specific thing, kind of. But this is Rocket League. We were just talking earlier about how having split apart offensive, defensive, midfielder roles is not beneficial to high-level Rocket League play, and you need to have well-rounded players that are able to take shots, block shots, and do everything in between. And I think that the source of a lot of ego is there because everybody's playing the same role. The simple fact, again, that I think it's understated, is what I'm saying, is, teams that play together and are able to communicate and get rid of that ego. I'll leave my very long point there.
No, I was going to say getting rid of that ego is definitely like the right way to put it, though, right? Because none of you are... Not like, of course, you're gonna have some teams that do have the person that is just fantastic at like scoring, or is fantastic at saving goals and passing them, and you all have like star power. But overall, the team is only strong as its weakest link.
Yep, I'm with that.
And Rocket League shows that off more than any other game.
Yeah, I think it's also interesting. I mean, Rocket League is such an unique. I mean, the features as well are unique, right? You're looking at a game right here that can be played on a toaster, right? There are not very many machines in this world, I think, that are still operating computers-wise that couldn't run this game at least on bad graphics, right?
Right.
Internet connection do not need very much at all. Cross platform is arguably the best in the world for a tier 1 esport. You can also play it offline. You could play split screen all the way up. Now, that might not be an ideal way to play, but you could do it. Like, all the pieces are there for
we have had
grassroots.
On Split now.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like it is 100% possible, and it's definitely done before, but just simply the possibility of that being there, that being something that can be done, gives it a leg up on other esports, A. But B, the simple fact that like you can have players get together and do this live where the pressure is, where yeah, okay, I'll make it on this one. I made it in the last one. Pressure makes diamonds, and you're not going to find pressure like this outside of what I'm describing, outside of IRL tournaments, outside of unreal life tournaments, outside of LANs and competitions that happen in real life when your opponents are in your faces, maybe yelling, maybe being aggressive, and everything else. And you have to sit next to your teammates and win or lose.
Yeah. And I think that's also the fun of it, though, right?
Yes, 100%.
When you're in that LAN environment, maybe
I'm bad now. But I love beating people.
But it's less about beating people and more about the team experience. Like, you win together or lose together as a team, and the only people at fault are yourself and your team, and the communication that comes down to that.
Yep.
And that's the beauty of Rocket League, is there is no external force. There's no RNG, right? Some people can say somebody got a lucky shot, but that ball went in because you didn't rotate fast enough. You didn't make the right call.
Behind every, RFG would be the mid-2000s term, right? I'm not going to define that. But behind every claim of something being random is pretty much like you said, is somebody who missed a rotation, somebody who decided to go for boosts instead of just simply going to where they need to be defensively or offensively. It's somebody who tried to take advantage of an unsuspecting player to get a demolition, thereby giving up a good position. And that is that is the explanation of luck. I would say 8 times out of 10 for Rocket League. Now there are lucky shots that come in here, but especially the higher up on that tier you go, the less the luck has anything to do with what happens on this scoreboard.
And that's definitely the right way to do it. And it's one of the few esports where that is the truth, right? Like, there's the only bit of RNG I can think in the entire game is when the boost is coming up, or the boost cooldown, right? You might get an RNG, like a little bit lucky, where you hit the boost at the right time as it just comes up, and it gives you that slight advantage. But that's nothing. that is like, if you were to complain about there not being boost up, that is your own fault for not having a plan to make a shot without boost. If you're relying on boost so much, that is the fault of yourself.
Exactly. And also, I would say to an extent that higher level Rocket League players, they're not going to be paying attention necessarily to these glowing dots, but they know where players are. And after, again, sometimes, and probably for literally some of the 6 players that you probably saw just now, so some of these guys have probably played this game for thousands of hours. Rocket League has been out for what, 4.5 years?
Yeah, very long. I mean, I always forget this. I was way back in the alpha. I used to play a lot of supersonic acrobatic rocket powered battle cars, which was the original Rocket League way back on the PS3, like the early years of the PS3.
Yeah.
Back when the Scarab was the best car. But I mean, oh man, it's such a fun name to say. I really wish that this was just supersonic acrobatic rocket powered battle cars too. But Rocket League is easier to say.
No, that's fair. That's fair. And yeah, to end, perhaps, like Nevik just said, the beauty, the allure to Rocket League is in its simplicity and how much you can delve into that and everything in between. Guys, we'll be back with you. We got Canisius College take on the University of Delaware. University of Delaware, another team that might show up and show off a little bit of fire. Do not tune away. We'll be back with you guys in just a few minutes.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all excited to get into the final game of the evening. We have Canisius playing against the University of Delaware. You excited for this one, Tug? I've asked you for this every single game, and I'm going to keep asking to keep on brand.
Canisius College coming in with a 1-1 even win-loss record, with the University of Delaware 2-0 undefeated, stomping around on everybody.
You know, I was with it, and then I wasn't. I'm going to be honest with you. I wasn't feeling that one.
You were with it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll do better next time.
I'm
sorry. I'm just overwhelmed by excitement.
Impression. Like, I'm not sure what you were going for there. But you know what I know we're going for? You know
trying to impress you, man.
Oh, you failed. But you know what we're going for?
What are we going for?
Another game of Rocket League.
I'm with it. And hopefully a more even game of Rocket League. We have seen 3-0 so far. Marist College being taken down by RIT. Quinnipiac taking out Niagara. And the University of Arlington taking down Manhattan, all in 3-0 stomps.
Yeah, and now we have, of course, Canisius' Griff Esports playing against University of Delaware. I love seeing these teams play. Canisius, we get to watch them perform in the Smash tournament as well during the regular season that we do, of course, have on Tuesdays. And they play extraordinarily well. And we get to see them here over on Rocket League as well. St. Peter's, oh sorry, not St. Peter's, the University of Delaware. I believe, also St. Peter's, I believe those are the only two teams that don't have Smash teams.
Really?
I believe so.
Interesting stuff. A slightly different game that we'll be watching here, but yeah, unfortunately not something we can relate to other esports and their performances thereof. But Human L, Fever, and Growl making up this University of Delaware team. Now, is Fever a sub? I do not believe I've seen that name before. Yes, sir. Because Glixie, Lord Bappo, and I'm Stuff over there for Griffin's Esports. That's Canisius College here in the blue. Those are all familiar names to old Navik and I.
Yeah. That is a team we've seen time and time again here. But yeah, Delaware might be bringing out some subs here, making it happen. Of course, I'm very familiar with Growl. Growl, obviously, being a fantastic player. Puts in the work for his team, and as he's going to be able to find it there as well.
Speaking of putting in work, I love what Glixie was doing there. He was all over it defensively and really did commit 110%. Now, the rest of Canisius was just not fully set up, not in a position to make something happen defensively, but a lot to be said for one player doing as much as he can, figuring it out and getting value from it. Now, Fever putting it in there after a nice pop-up pass here. That's the Human L. Getting around several different, and Fever just rocketing this one in there.
That's 3 goals already. I hate to say it happened because this is all we've been seeing all night. They've been very one-sided games. Sometimes that's just how round robin works.
Just how the cookies, it's how the cookies shall fall. I hear what you're saying, man. Of course, we saw at least different types of, stomps, right? We were looking at this scoreline half as much time with our matchup between RIT and Marist College, and we both know how that one ended. That was the Marist College team came forth a swinging. RIT turned on the afterburners, scoring 5 points up for their first game of 3 W's in a row. Now, what this means, of course, is that this can be flipped around at any given time. Might be looking at teams that haven't warmed up, or might just be looking to take advantage from learning the other team, seeing what they do, their strengths and their weaknesses. I'm stuck here with a nice defensive block.
Yeah, I was going to say that was a lovely shot coming out, though, from the University of Delaware. Good save coming up from Lord Bappo. Glixie now was the opportunity, runs it down. I'm stuck right behind it, challenges Growl. Works out for him, the human elf, rotating around. Fever gets the touch, sets it back up, sets himself up. Goes a bit too high, but it's a pass, a bit of a whiff, landing Growl. They get it past. This is an opportunity coming out for the Griffs, but even saying that, Delaware managed to turn it around.
Yeah, fly, Griffins fly as we hit about a halftime here. Glixie with a fantastic takeaway, and Lord Bappo gets punished for his aggression. Now down, he'll be back here in just a second, but I will say, even down 4-0, Lord Bappo coming back a swinging. Growl falling on that one. He's coming back. Might be a little bit angry there, Navik, but gotta say, even though there's 4-0 right now, without some very impressive defensive performances by Griffs Esports, that's Canisius College, this would be a much farther scoreline.
Yeah, 2 minutes left. It's quite a slow game, and you know when you just have those random thoughts, just as it go on a bit of a tangent. Yeah, you ever have those, Tug? I'm sure you do. Tug, would you rather...
I've never rambled in my entire life. Now.
All right, well that's fair enough, but I think it's safe to say it's still, unless we start seeing some pressure coming out at the moment, that we are going to see the University of Delaware be able to bring it out. Slow and steady.
Well, I was just talking about nice defensive performances, right? Then Glixie and Bappo, they're double committing on a ball and right next to each other, right? There's a lot to be said for, spreading your players out, just simply covering more field and widening that area in which you can have an effective performance.
Yeah, well, the tangent I was going to go on the topic of Griffins and Blue Hens. I don't know what would be scarier, fighting a blue hen the size of a griffin, or 10 griffin-sized blue hens.
I think the unfamiliarity that would come from facing out in a death match between griffins, especially more of them, might be more so. I'm going to say 10 griffins would be more horrifying. At least hens are something I'm a little bit more familiar with.
Yeah, but 10 one big angry blue hen, I don't know. They've both got.
Oh no, I'm with it. I'm not saying that they're a nice animal. That they are not prone to aggression, and then I've not been pecked by by a chicken before. Are you saying this because of the car topper on that yellow player, with the chicken head on the yellow player?
Oh well, of course, the University of Delaware are the blue hens. That is what they go by. And
okay, I wasn't catching that. I got you.
Canisius are the Griffins.
Yeah.
Griff Esports.
I got the Griffins part.
Yeah,
got the Griffins part.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things where I was just thinking about it, because I did see the car topper, and I was like, man, a griffin the size of a hen would be horrifying, or 10 griffins the size of a hen would be horrifying. But man, could you imagine a hen the size of a griffin? That's also scary.
That's a little bit comical, right? I guess that's not as the adding to the scariness factor for me. The 10 griffins, even if they are small, would be the horrifying thing for me in our theoretical situations about life-size hens or whatever.
A mythical creature and blue hens. But no, coming out, 50 seconds left onto the clock. This is an absolute landslide coming out for the University of Delaware at the moment. I mean, it's game one though. People could be warming up. Like you said, we did see that coming out the first game we saw this evening, which was Marist playing against RIT.
Yeah, I mean, we saw something similar. Of course, RIT did come back and score at 5. I think 9 and 45 is probably impossible, though.
Yeah, and the other...
because again, that would require so many 50-50s, one individually, and one team just almost sitting down.
Yeah, and the other thing is, it's expected, right, Delaware to play this well, right? They are the only team to put, UTA in a situation where we might have gone to a final game in a best of 7, right? They took them to game 6. which is nothing
six
to
is still
scoff
awesome.
at. Yeah, no, it's absolutely phenomenal. But, like, it's just expected. Like, it's expected to see UTA pull off crazy shots. I just expect Delaware to hit, like, some ridiculous angles at this point, and they do. They never let me down when it comes out to that. Look at that. Look at that right there.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, that was Lord Vapo responding to a, what, about as long a shot as you could get, right? I think that was the Human L that pulled this one all the way back from probably a third into their own side of the field. And then Lord Vapo did get a fantastic block on it, but this is a University of Delaware team that just felt like getting double-digit scores.
Yeah, and there you go. I mean, 10 goals, that's the biggest goal lead I think we've seen this evening, right? Even UTA wasn't able to get Manhattan into double digits.
No, they were not. No, they were not. There's been one... No, actually, we haven't even seen double-digit scorelines totals whatsoever, you know? Yeah. Oh, and then we get 11. Okay, so them setting records here. That's the University of Delaware speaking objectively and calling it like the weatherman, stomping out Canisius College at 11-0. This is game 1. We're moving on to game 2.
You know, at the moment, I think I'd rather fight 10 blue hens or 10 griffins of the size of blue hens. Because,
yeah, I mean, if those griffins would respond the same way Griffins responding here.
You know what we say? It's reset time now. We're going back to the 0-0.
Yep.
It's anybody's game. Canisius might come back with a fierce playback. Looking over the statistics here, Tug, right? We have 4 goals from Growl, 3 goals from the Human L, 4 goals from Fever, 5 assists from the Human L, and 8 shots, and the only save. There was only 1 shot on the side of Canisius, which was from I'm Stuff, and the Human L managed to save it. I mean, when one of your players nearly tops the entirety of the opposition's score, that's some ball control.
Yeah, that really is. I mean, a lot of this came off the back of time of possession, right? Again, a scoreline that I wish we had. Rocket League, Psionics, and I guess now Epic, technically. Please, time of possession. But, I mean, look at the shots, right? It was 6, 8, and 9. That's, what, 24? Something like that? That's a lot of shots, we'll say.
I'll let you do 6, 8, and 9.
6, 8, and 9? No, 23. Sorry.
Yeah, 23.
14 plus 9.
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
14 plus
correct.
9. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm a play-by-play. I don't need to know math.
I mean, I feel like just fundamentally in life, knowing math's a good idea.
Nah, overrated. You're crazy. More UK chaos and insanity.
Is that how that goes?
I feel like that's such like a typical like American statement, right? Like, we don't need none of the maths.
I don't know. I feel like everybody's different. I tend to not generalize, but hell.
I'm an American. I can make fun of us.
That's reasonable.
Yep.
I mean, I'm a Brit that doesn't like tea, so really, do I have any say in anything?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
How are you dealt with on the regular, like on the street? Do people like?
Oh, you know, I get scoffed at. I get scoffed at. Yeah.
Okay.
The bobbies come out with batons. It's a real situation.
Do you actually call cops bobbies there, or police officers?
Some
bobbies?
people do. Coming out,
I feel like
Grav's
that's
gonna
like
be able to find the first goal.
Like...
I mean, I've definitely heard some people refer to them as bobbies, but that's more London. That's
like,
where the
do they
London
actually
is.
wear like the bucket hat and like running around the?
Yeah, you definitely get
function?
some, like mostly in London, like where the tourist like areas are, because of course.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
But no, yeah, you do see a few.
Fulfill the idea. Of,
yeah, absolutely, right. It's all smoke and mirrors.
Smoke and mirrors. That's the land of Britain. Yeah, Britain's the one country of the United Kingdom. Yeah.
It's the United Kingdom. The island technically was Albion, but that's a long time ago.
Look at me, I'm learning stuff left and right.
Okay.
40 seconds in, pressure is against Griff's Esports. That's Canisius again. Actually, great takeaway here and double teaming up. So this Glixie and company, they might have a shot, but I'm stuff falling in the thick of things.
Yeah, good demolition.
Human L gets some of his own medicine.
Lord Vapo has ball possession here, looking to run it down, find a breakaway. Fever's going to be on top of it. It's a pass Glixie, and that's going to be in.
Yeah, that is a picture-perfect takeaway if anybody's looking for one. Fever right here, right in the middle as well, and just, yep, right there. Through 2 different players. Or took it away from one, then Glixie not able to tap that one away.
Good early start. I mean, we're a minute into round number 2. We already see The University of Delaware managing to get game 1. So if they manage to do this, Canisius put their back to the wall, which is what we've seen every single series tonight.
Yeah, that's fair. Now this has definitely been slower. At least they got 11 in the last. I believe 6 of those. No, not 6. 5 of those was in the first 2 minutes. Then play did slow down a little bit, but Canisius College has tripled up on this a little bit. Now defensively that makes a little bit more sense. Now if that was on, that would have been their first goal, not just of this game, but of both games.
Now it's one of those situations once again where we are just seeing the University of Delaware manage to get it. What a fantastic play by Fever.
Yep. That is yeah.
So I like what we saw here, right? There was a good pass play. It was a deliberate just shot forward. If you actually saw the Canisius player, I didn't actually catch who it was. He thought that he was just going to commit for a goal, so he reacted accordingly. Yeah. And Fever just shot it straight forward, knowing it was going to bounce straight back to him, and then just put it in.
Yeah. And knowing that that player was not going to try and defend from that side no matter what, kind of giving himself just a little bit more time. I suppose, you know, if we're talking about differences, talking about narratives, right? I was speaking earlier about giving offenses incorrectly giving defensive teams time to set up, but I would say that there with the Human L situation, that is the exact opposite, right? Like that is a good amount of time to purchase. That is a good amount of time to waste but given what is resulting in, right? The kind of faking out of the defender.
Yeah.
And it's also only, what, 3/4 of a second? Now, to some degree, he had to have known that his teammates were there as well. So that's not really as much of a factor there. But again, if we were talking about, you know, bad time to waste and good time to waste, that was good time to waste.
Yeah, well, sometimes wasting time just letting the clock run down, especially when you're this many goals ahead. Like, what's the differential? They scored, what, 11 goals last game to 16 goals difference?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah. One more, and they will actually be given the time on par to score more so than 11, but they only have 7 seconds to do that.
I think UTA were at 23 goal difference by the end of their best of 5.
They were 7, 9, and 7.
Oh, look at me with the good memory, the good math. Off of the top of the crossbar there, he's just gonna put it straight in. What a play!
Humanel looping this one in. Now I believe that Humanel has gotten 3 of these. Fever's on 2.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Actually, I'm not sure if Grau has actually gotten the opportunity to nail one of these in quite yet. Of course, last game he did get several of them as well. Crucial and several assists there as well in game number 1. Game number 2 going very similar to how it did before. No neutral reset here for Canisius College team quite yet.
Again. Grau looking to try and intercept, steal it away from Lord Bappo. Recenters into it. I'm Stuff is not going to take the. He's not going to take the bait, right? He's not going to get the touch. He's just going to let that pass on, and then we're going to once again see this recenter. Now Canisius with a good opportunity to try and find a goal out of this.
You know what they'll do with it will be seen, though. Again, Canisius College simply hasn't applied that much pressure. Oh, there you go! Oh man, I'm sorry. I got teams mixed up again. I'm so sorry. I saw blue. I assumed Canisius College. The pressure there was on University of Delaware right previously, but the takeaway and the takeaway shot was University of Delaware and put another 7.
Yes.
I was excited for the first for Canisius's first, but unfortunately.
No, we did see a pretty good turnaround coming out there. The University of Delaware managing to find it out, which I mean. Sometimes it's a difficult situation again, right? When you're down this many goals, that's going to be 8. We do not want to see them getting into double digits once again.
No, we really don't. I mean, there's a W, and then there's a stomp, and then there's just getting a little bit too much with it. Now, I mean, I can't say that actually. I'm sorry, because again, it's a matter of points. Both of these teams. Every single one of these teams has all the incentive in the world to score as many points as they can here. Now, if this was the championship and that was the end of the season, maybe a little bit different, and I would even maybe give them a little bit more so in the sportsman-like, idea of, this team cannot win. We're talking about time, and we're not going to rob them of their opportunity to play by just cutting it or whatever else like that, no matter how much time is left.
Right.
But but they can't win, so we have won. That's it. But this has to do with points. Both of these teams want to put up as many as they can because of the event of a tie in the end, about who's going to the playoffs. And like you just said, man, University of Arlington just had 23 points up over. So this is a team that needs to tie, beat, go beyond that, right? In the event of a tie.
Yes.
So. Yeah, so yes, yes, a stomp like this isn't always the best to watch, not the best to play in if you're the losing team, but I cannot fault the University of Delaware for running up the score.
No, I mean, they want to be able to get that right. They want, in case they have a series tie, let's say, with UTA, they're able to just say, that they're able to just go, like, you know what, we managed to get a massive on these wins, and these points gave us the advantage.
Yeah. Well, now they're looking at 21, and they still have a third game to go. So.
Oh, just putting it in that. I mean.
Oh wait, damn, I did it again.
Oh.
It's Canisius College that just scored their first.
Yes. No, I completely blanked with that one as well. No, Canisius managing to get the first there is actually super, super good for them. Coming into game number 3. Of course,
they've scored.
They're down 11 goals. Yeah, no, they're down 11 goals at the moment. And you're confusing the team so much that my brain was like, yeah. And I was like, wait, no.
I know, I suck. I'm terrible.
It happens. It happens. We've been casting for quite a while. But
yeah, that we have.
Coming out, that's good. Canisius managing to find their first goal there is absolutely huge. And they're putting on the pressure now. Again, we could possibly see them bringing in a lot more game 3. But at the moment, the University of Delaware is killing it.
Yep. Up 12-1. Yeah, Lord Babbo kind of got double teamed there, didn't he? And that was even kind of the passer who... Yeah, so I like this. You back up that goal maybe, 10 meters or whatever in game, and that was actually Lord Babbo who was going to be tapped by the player that had just passed the ball on over to, I believe that was Fever who just got that. I think that was the Humanel getting that one done. So... yeah, so some really good play. Even though the ball was already up there, and it wouldn't have mattered because how close they were. Still, a fantastic, assistive play.
Yeah, and again, that is now going to be able to put them up like 11 goals. So they didn't get completely shut out, which is important because it is demoralizing.
It is.
Back and forth, and there we go, ladies and gentlemen. The University of Delaware putting in game number 2 with a massive lead. I mean, let's just talk about the stats here, right? Lord Bappo managed to find the first one. Reliable rotator is a fitting title for that goal. Right, but look at that. 8 shots from Fever, putting in 7. So out of his 8 registered shots, he successfully scored. He missed 1 shot. That is an absurd statistic.
And what is registered, right? But no, that is a very, very absurd statistic as well. And hitting 4 digits for Fever, 1,143 total score for this guy. 7 goals, 2 assists, a save, and 8 shots. That'll do it for you all day long.
Yeah, no, that is a...
So, wow, just talking about tonight and the losers, right, in the 0-3s. We have a total of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points scored for all 4 losing teams tonight. All of them have gotten 3-0'd up to this point. Canisius College is now looking at that down the barrel of another 3-0 from against the University of Delaware. So what that means, of course, dear listeners and dear Navik, is that 6, 7, 8. There's been 2 different teams performing 2 different games, University of Arlington and University of Delaware. They've scored 3 different games. They've scored more points than the losing teams have, all 4 of them tonight.
I mean, that is
wild.
A lot of points, to be fair with you. Like, of course.
4 for...
Yeah, we are seeing a substitution, however, coming out for Canisius.
Okay, so this will be a different game by any measure, right?
Well, there's another player that could completely change the variables of the situation. This might be... It was Canisius playing like the biggest brain hustle, right? And they're just going to come out thriving here. right?
That would be amazing. I would love it.
You know, it'd be fitting as well because their substitute was. We have Imstaff, of course. The team captain. We have Glixie, but also we now have a humble potato.
A humble potato.
Who immediately gets demolished.
Flip it all the way. Switch it all the way up. Excuse me. Or will this be another stomp by University of Delaware? No scores quite yet. This is a different game, and it has been operating as such.
No, once again, this is a new game, like you said, 5 minutes on the clock. But I don't think the University of Delaware want it to go away as the triple commit for the save tries to happen, but Fever just manages to dunk it in the longest shot.
Wow, yeah, so this is... yeah, that was all 3 players, and all of them were in a position, except for maybe Humble Potato. Excuse me, yeah, so that was Glixie Imstuff with the right angle on there. Not able to get on the other side of this and change up that outcome.
Again. Touch.
Pressure up here against Griff's Esports. Rotating around, Grau pushing that up here for Fever after Humanel takes down one of these, and Grau just barely taps that one in. Little cap shot here, right in front of goal as well. 52 seconds in, 2 scores up. Canisius College is not as not as dominant as we saw a minute ago, games 1 and 2, but is continuing along that path.
Now gets the rebound, Fever, right? Goes to Glixie. Glixie looking for the opportunity. Gets challenged by Grau. Goes back now into which Fever's going to be able to try and get a touch. Lets it drop. Imstuff stealing it away. Gets the rebound there. Doesn't find the connection to it though.
Griff's Esports is honestly playing objectively better in this game so far. I think that Humble Potato was a decent change, coming in here. Fever is not done though. This is University of Delaware is executing plans very, very well. Really like what they were doing there. That was the kind of a spin pass up in the top. So we hit about 90 seconds into this game.
And into the kickoff. There's 33 left on the clock. This of course is match point. So where this remains.
That was a really long shot right there, but getting blocked off how the upper Rocket League. Not going to make those in as easily.
For the touch, Fever manages to get it. There's a bit of a contest. The Humanel's going to be able to pick it back up.
Hitting top bar. Nice job getting involved there by Humble Potato. Honestly, Humble Potato has been doing pretty well. Comes in here, subbed all the way out, and or subbed out for Lord Bappo, excuse me, and has been playing all over this ball offensively and defensively, and that was a decent little setup. Stuff was honestly just a little bit out of position. That ball rebounding just a little bit harder than he might have anticipated.
Now, there's going to be another score, so that's going to be 4 goals up. The University of Delaware are entering half-time. I mean, Delaware have just been ferocious. Like, I've said it time and time again, but they really, really have been putting in the work.
Great way to put it. Halftime now. Pressure against Canisius. Stuffed and more, just trying to get this ball out a little bit. Fever is back. He's coming up, setting up for another one of his corner shot. Not there. Humanel trying to make something of it, and Grau actually on the defensive rotation is there. But now it looks like this ball is solidly in the University of Delaware territory. No, it isn't. Just like that. And that's Rocket League for you. Corner shot missed. I'm stuffed. I'll wait there for the block.
And with the there, just are looking to try and find something, right? And of course, like, obviously they're trying to find something, but it's difficult when there is just constant pressure coming in at them.
Yeah, and constant pressure is a perfect way to describe the University of Delaware so far. Guillotine shot, set up, executed, sold, and bought, all by Grau.
Able to get the drop there. Growl putting in another goal. I mean, it's one of those games where it's difficult not to repeat ourselves in these cases, right? Because it is just textbook time and time again.
It is. It is. Oh, shot by the humble potato. Just barely bounces out on this one. Again, that might have been the glimmer at the end of the tunnel here for Canisius, but it seems every time they try and get something going here, a very effective University of Delaware team. Look at this. He's even got a bodyguard with him. That was Humanel and Grau did that a little while ago. I believe the roles were reversed there with Humanel providing, or Grau, excuse me, providing the covering fire or whatever against defenders earlier. But again, just kind of speaks to two teammates who've been playing together for a very long time. They're very good at the game of Rocket League.
Yeah, and this just goes to show, right? I hype up UTA every time they talk, like every time we see them play. But Delaware is the second best team. In fact, I wouldn't even say second best. I'd probably say they're on par with seeing Delaware perform today.
Yeah, I mean, when they are able to capitalize on angles like that, it's really no surprise that this team is playing where they are. Honestly, I gotta say good things about them, man.
Yeah, no. Right, the rebound coming out there. 1 minute left on the clock.
Bunch of contention here in the corner. Pot shot goes out. It's right across the middle, and maybe a more set up and rotated team would have been able to capitalize on that. But that seems that has been the problem of Manhattan previously, and now Canisius here. Just simply triple commits, rotations that don't result in players being exactly where they need to, or perhaps just anticipated places, anticipating positions, just not really being exactly what they need.
Yeah, that's a possibility. I mean, 40 seconds left on the clock. It's game set match. I think we wouldn't be kidding anybody or offending anybody by saying that, because statistically, they'd need to catch up by 9 goals with 35 seconds left on the clock, right? So that is an average of like what, 3.8 reoccurring, which is not a lot of time for Rocket League scores. Like trying to get that many goals consistently in like 4 seconds, if we round it up, is nearly impossible.
Yeah, it would require 50-50s one, like you said, something like 9 times in a row.
It would require Delaware to just all AFK.
Yeah, to literally sit down. Yeah, and I mean, I'm not sure if there's a way to even reliably set up winning 50-50s like that. Especially not in a row against a team that would, kind of realize what you're doing eventually, right?
Yeah.
But now with the 10th, this is a University of Delaware team that has managed to reach a double-digit advantage every game of this 3 so far.
I mean, there we go. 5 seconds left on the clock. It's going to be Delaware, gentlemen. And, I mean, Canisius didn't get completely locked out, right? They did 2 of the games, but they didn't... In that second game, they managed to find a goal, and honestly, I'd take strides in that. It's like you got to find the little things in games like that so you don't get too demoralized, and that would be the silver lining to me. Maybe not that both of us completely mixed up the teams, because that should have been an infinitely more fight moment, and I sincerely apologize for that one.
Yeah.
But
both of us kind of dropped the ball there.
Yeah, absolutely. But that is going to be it for us this evening. Looking over the games, we did, of course, see RIT beat Marist. Quinnipiac take the win over Niagara. UTA managed to beat Manhattan. We just watched the University of Delaware beat Canisius. Ironically, all 4 of the teams managed to get 3-0s, and they were all the right side of the UI.
Yep. Yeah, I was literally noticing that as you were saying that.
Yeah.
They're all the orange teams, yeah.
Yeah. They have always been the orange team. So maybe there's some weird bias in Rocket League. We'll have to find out. Ladies and gentlemen, I, of course, have been at Kevin Navik Dignan. You can find me on Twitter at NavikCasts.
Yes, and I am Jordan Fitzpatrick, FBI Tugboat. You can find me over there on Twitter, twitter.com/FBI_tugboat. Follow me away. I tweet awesome things and cast lots of different games, so tune on in.
And, of course, if you want to keep up with all of the updates and games, you can follow us at official EGF on Twitter and Twitch. And I also believe Instagram now. I don't know if I've shout that out, but we do have an Instagram. And of course, I want to give a big thank you to all of the schools for participating, and we will see you next week.